you. You're finally awake.
For years of my life, I have adored playing Skyrim. When I first played it, it was one of the only games I played. And as years went by, it transformed into an on and off obsession. One day, I'll get the urge to jump back into the wagon and be carted off onto another adventure, but something would always taint my enjoyment of the game and cause me to drop it altogether for who knows how long. Grinding. I always grinded most of my skills to the max, like archery and sneak. Bet those surprised the hell out of you. And I even maxed out my magic skills by casting Muffle in towns to max out Illusion, used a Transmute spell to max out Alteration, which would in turn max out my smithing skill, and then my enchanting skill, which would also help my speech skill by selling them. And every single time I did this, it made the game boring for me. And I never changed the way I played. Until last year. 2024 for those of you in the further future. The year prior, 2023, I created a character that I once again broke the game with. That short Let's Play is on my channel in the Just Skyrim playlist in case you're curious. And after finishing the Thieves Guild questline, after maxing out my lockpicking skill using the skeleton key, I once again got bored and put the game down. I fully intended on getting back to this character and at least finishing this series off, but my motivation to do so just wasn't there. Now, going back to my original statement, in 2024, I was graced with a video by Lasers titled Homesick for a Place I Can Never Visit. In that video, he briefly talked about Skyrim and how it's hard to go back to the way Skyrim used to be with how much it's changed over the years thanks to mods. And that inspired me to do something that I haven't done in years since the special edition came out with mod support. I disabled every mod that I currently had on the anniversary edition of the game, and I started a new playthrough. Not only that, but I decided I would not be grinding out skills this time either. I would play the game and level up normally. On top of all that, I decided that I would not be a stealth archer, and that I would be a tank that uses a warhammer, a weapon class I stayed away from for the longest time because of the slow swinging. This is the introduction of my Let's Play with Grognar, which is still ongoing, also in the Just Skyrim playlist by the way. And thanks to this, I slowly started rediscovering my love for Skyrim. You forget how fast you could level up in the game just from playing normally, and my god is it so much more satisfying that way. And around the same time, Linnea invited me to join her in her own Skyrim Let's Play series, which ended up kicking off a race between our respective Dragonborn to see who would kill Alduin first. So, not only did I get to rediscover Skyrim through my own lens, but Linnea's as well, which inspired me to take things slower with my own series after a bit, hence why the newer ones are a bit longer. I even discovered new things thanks to tagging along for Linnea's series, like how you could disable traps by using lockpicking, or how you could bypass Brynjolf's offer by talking to Kurava about Esbern. And she, in turn, learned things from me, like the classic saving, hitting shopkeeper, and reloading the save to restock their inventory to keep from having to wait for them to restock. She even learned that you could destroy the Dark Brotherhood thanks to one of my videos. I was even inspired to make other characters and play around with them in my spare time, thanks to Linnea informing me that she has other characters she plays around with in hers. I also went the extra mile and only allowed myself to use the skills that they specialize in, plus one other minor skill to make the build work, so for the first time ever, I made an Argonian character viable. Because Argonians have no combat skills, that really shakes things up and forces me to find other ways around things, like either having followers to fight for me or sneaking around everything. The minor skill in question is speech. Since Argonians have a sneak, lockpicking, and pickpocketing skill, it'd be the only way for me to be able to sell all of the stolen goods that he would obtain. Something else I love about the game is the freedom that it gives you, with your story only stopping when you decide to, and also being able to create whatever build you want out of whatever race you want. You can make a mage into a warrior, and you can make a warrior into a mage. You can even give an archer a warhammer. The possibilities are never ending. It does cause people to lean more towards stealth archer while trying to make a barbarian character, so the freedom does come at a price. Still cool though. Back to earlier in the video when I mentioned me and Linnea discovering new things about the game from each other's series, it reminded me of one constant with the game. No matter how many times you play it, no matter how many hours you sink into it, there's always something new that you haven't experienced. Like, for example, without giving anything away, once you get the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller back from Delphine, take it back to Ustagrov to its pedestal. Trust me, you'll have your mind blown. Another thing, when you do the Civil War questline, depending on what side you're on, once you get the Jagged Crown, take it to the opposing side and see what happens. Plus, while we're on Skyrim, for years I believed that Skyrim was my favorite game, though recently I've had my doubts about that, since I played games that are mechanically and graphically better than it. But the more I think about it, I have returned to Skyrim way more than any other game that I played, even the ones that I consider better than it. And since I've rediscovered my love for the game and started enjoying playing it again, I realize, yeah, it is my favorite game. I love it, despite all of its glaring flaws. It will always be a game that I'll come back to, eager to re-immerse myself in its world, and eager to see what else I may have missed. And I will always be inspired by it. In fact, it's inspired me in a huge way recently. That being said, I want to leave you guys off with something that will really excite a lot of my old fans. Who are you?
I am McLaughlin.